Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in to the virtual Talladega Super Speedway for round number 3 of Season 4 of the Dega Pros Little Guys Series here live on the Hickory Racing Network. 24 trucks take to Talladega Super Speedway tonight to try to lock their way into our championship race at the end of the season. In the booth with me tonight, you know him, you love him. He's here with me for the last couple seasons now. Matthew Baker joins me in the booth. Baker, a crazy race last week, to say the least, chaotic going into the darkness today. Luckily, the darkness poses no threat. We're back out here again. These guys don't have to worry about the sun going down and now can just race it out.
Yeah, and hopefully it's going to put on some more green flag racing that we're used to seeing. You know, the first week we had only 2 cars finish on the lead lap, or in the lead pack, I should say, racing out for the win. Last week we had the sun going down. I wonder what kind of chaotic race we're going to see tonight here. Third time making a charm. Maybe we'll have a 3-wide, 4-wide finish and put on a good show for these guys.
Well, certainly we saw something last week that we have never seen before. Week 1, very little chaos in terms of, going into darkness, 4-wide finish. We did have 2 trucks finish on a lead lap. Austin Green edged out Logan York in one of the weirdest ends to a race that we have ever seen. Then obviously last week, the session started at about 6:45 local time in the sim, which meant that the sun posed a threat. After a few cautions, it started to get dark right around lap 30 to 32. You saw the sun go down, the track engulfed in darkness. The drivers could not see. A last lap wreck, essentially a last lap wreck, with about 5 laps to go. Saw J.R. Miller pull through the carnage. That win will stand. He is in the championship race as well. So we look forward to seeing what happens tonight and who's going to become the 3rd winner of this season. Qualifying is done and over with, and we will get these guys on the grid for the first time. It's 50 laps here at Talladega in all daylight tonight, which is good to see as we get ready to go under the green flag for the first time. The field will start to pop onto the starting grid, and with that said, we'll go into your starting grid here at the Talladega Super Speedway. It is Austin Green, our Week 1 winner, on the pole, a time of 55.630 seconds to his outside the KSR entry of Ryan Baste. Row 2 would be PGR's Nash Brambilla. To his outside it'll be Trevor Osbernoth in the 89 for KSR. Dustin Carruthers will start from 5th, with J.R. Miller, last week's winner, to his outside in the 6th position. Zach Range is back tonight in the 043. He'll start 7th. Thomas Parker will start from the 8th position. It'll be David Sheets starting from 9th for McCullough Motorsports, and Richard Elliott rounds out the top 10 for BAR.
We got Aubrey Thompson back for BAR. Could get off of work on time to get to this race in 11th. Brock Westmoreland for PGR in 12th. Heath Job for Hyper Motorsports 13th. Ron Morris Jr. for McCullough Motorsports in 14th. Danny Barnes, another Hyper driver, in 15th. Mike Davenport for PGR in 16th. Look for a strong run for him after that 1-2-3 finish from PGR last week. Mark Vondell has had a couple strong runs to start the season, a couple pit road mistakes, but look for him to be towards the front. He's had a lot of momentum on his side these past couple of weeks. Starting in 17th. 18th, you've got Jack Hignite and Bobby Forbes in 19th. Michael Clay in 20th.
Last 4 trucks on the field tonight. It's Cole Fitzpatrick who's back in the field tonight in the 24. He'll start from 21st. It'll be Logan York looking to get 1 spot better from 2 weeks ago. In the 40, he'll start 22nd. It'll be PGR's Tyler Vickery starting from the 23rd position tonight. And it'll be Doug Camp making his Little Guys Series debut here in Season 4. He'll start shotgun on the field in the 408 in 24th position. So 24 trucks off the haulers and ready to go under the green flag. As you see, most of them have popped onto the grid. It will be 50 laps, and we're back to the pit strategy race that we're used to seeing. Luckily, again, darkness not an issue, and we'll see if these guys can get into a bit of a green flag run here in the course of this race. And with some of these guys up front, you figure that they want to get some green flag racing, and a lot of these guys were at the front when the chaos started last week. You figure they want to get into a bit of a rhythm here and make this a pit stop race, because when we see it become a pit stop race, we often see the strategy break up, a few different strategies, and we end up with a really clean 50 laps. So a lot of these guys, Baker, I imagine, are hoping for more of the norm instead of what we got last week.
Absolutely. A couple new paint schemes out here. You see J.R. Miller in that red and white 78. He debuted that last week, but used to see him in that purple and blue machine. Newer truck to look at. And also Dustin Carruthers not running that Bud paint scheme that he's had for so many months here after we ran that throwback race for PGR a few months back, and now he's in the Will Jewelry and Loan number 10 machine. Good looking truck there. A lot of bright, vibrant gold on the black.
And we're used to seeing the KSR Weiser machine, not anymore for the 10. A brand new look aboard that machine, but a lot of these guys have brought back the tried and true paints that we are used to seeing. You see the Embry-Riddle truck for Austin Green. I believe he'll be taking to the field in the College Series race at Talladega tomorrow night, so good practice for him tonight. 50 laps before he goes and runs that race tomorrow night in the 87. Trevor Osborne, familiar, fabulous Stamper Hornet aboard his truck, same with his teammate Ryan Baste, as well as Thomas Parker. Man, KSR, another really strong qualifying effort tonight up in the front. They are going to start 2nd, 4th, 5th, and 8th here as we get ready to go into the green flag for the first time. So another really good run for them in qualifying. And right on cue as I talk about their teammates, or talk about his teammates, Devin Ray in the chat is talking about KSR, and yeah, they are definitely flexing some muscle, and they will do so throughout the night, I am sure. Off turn number 4, we're going to go green. It's Little Guy Night in America here on a Monday night as we are ready to go under the green flag. Austin Green, Ryan Baste, bringing them down to the restart zone. The pace car will make the hard left turn to pit road, and we are in the sunshine today. Thank goodness. We are not under any threat of darkness here tonight, so the sunshine will be bright above these trucks, and that will not play a threat at all. Here we go. Round 3 of the Little Guys series. We're about to get underway from Talladega. Austin Green into the restart zone for the first time, waiting on the green flag. And there it is. Green flag. We are racing from the Little Guys series in Talladega. Lap 1 going to be led by a blinking Ryan Baste in the 73 for KSR. Luckily, only one blink looked like he's able to get back up on the racetrack here in front of Austin Green as they come through turns 1 and 2. It's Oswornoth up on the outside with J.R. Miller, last week's winner. So both winners now on row number 2. As we head down the Alabama Gang Super Stretch for the second time tonight, it's an alt KSR front row, Baste and Oswornoth, but the 89 is going to peek forward to lead. He may drop across his teammate here in 3.
Yeah, Ryan Baste blinks again. Looking at the points here from the spreadsheet, a little bit squirrely there on the top line. They get it figured out. Good push from J.R. Miller. But looking at the points here, a couple trucks that are looking to gain a little momentum. Mark Vondel, we talked about it. He's had a couple strong runs, but he just can't close the deal out when it comes to as of late. Look for him. He's sitting 24th in points. Top 15 lock in with 5 winners. And another guy on the outside looking in very strong, Ron Morris Jr., also Devin Ray, 17th and 18th. Devin Ray not out here tonight. Cole Fitzpatrick all the way down in 30th, tied for 30th with Bobby Forbes. Look for another run for him to try and get to the front. Cole Fitzpatrick's not shy about trying to come to the front. You see a big stack up there on the bottom line. Zach Range gets pushed out of line, really checking up there on the bottom line. They're going to sort it out.
Off into 3, they do sort it out. Luckily, as the field gets really spread out behind the leaders from Westmoreland on back, they're going to be at risk of losing the draft here. Westmoreland, Sheets, Vickery, Job, Barnes, Clay, and Forbes are those trucks that will be affected, but it looks like they're going to be able to get it all sorted out and get back together. And up top, that's the all-white truck. Not sure why the paint scheme's not loading, but that is PGR's Mike Davenport. Flexing muscle early. He goes to the race lead here in 1. Another blink. Another KSR truck is blinking. That's Thomas Parker in the middle. So hopefully he gets that figured out. Cole Fitzpatrick coming with Mike Davenport to the front, but Davenport leaves them out. And it's now PGR 1-2 off turn number 2.
And just as we talked about Cole Fitzpatrick, he made his way towards the front. Gave a great push to Davenport. Stalled at that middle line, though. That bottom's going to roll by 4. All 4 trucks are clear there on the bottom. Great push from Oswornoth and Ryan Baste to the bumper of J.R. Miller with Austin in behind. Everyone really scattering to try and get into track position here. Really weird look to this right now. The middle line completely died off. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, really odd. Not sure what happened to the middle line there, but nonetheless, they're going to try to start getting it reformed. It's the teammates. Austin Green up in the outside line here with Ron Morris Jr. in the 76, but no help coming with him. On the bottom side, J.R. Miller continues to lead, but then its teammates lined up 4 deep behind him. Osbornoff, Baste, Parker, and Carruthers. The KSR contingent runs 2, 3, 4, and technically 6, but 2, 3, 4, 5 on the bottom. In line here is now Green's got some help. The cavalry has come back to him. Morris, Fitzpatrick, and a couple other trucks. I think that might be Logan York and Zach Range. And a couple more trying to get it sorted out behind him. Look at the run-up on the outside. Austin Green, the Embry-Riddle F-150, comes rocketing back to the front. He'll challenge for the lead when they reach the front straightaway here off turn number 4.
Well, KSR's right in the point where they want it right now. They got 4 in a line to look maybe for pit stops, try and undercut. You know it's going to take a 3-stop race to make this full field. It's about 15 laps per tank. We've seen them undercut. You saw it happen in the championship race, and you saw it happen a couple of times last season. Will it happen again here? These guys are all lined up here on the bottom.
Austin Green got to the bottom in front of the 78 of J.R. Miller. Now it's Ron Morris up on the outside. He's got Fitzpatrick, York, Range, and Davenport in line with him. 5 trucks on the outside, a couple more further back. Jack Hignite is one of those trucks, and one of the Hyper teammates is lined up with him. And now Ron Morris is going to get split in the middle, left out to dry. Here up on the outside comes Cole Fitzpatrick, and Austin Green, he sees that. Jumps up, goes to get his teammate, but unfortunately, this is seriously going to backfire for Green and Morris. They are going backwards. Fitzpatrick's got the run up on the top side, and now KSR starts to move. Here comes Oswornoth up to the middle. The problem is none of his teammates could get clear. Oswornoth trying to keep that top line at bay. Not going to be able to do it, I don't think. Cole Fitzpatrick to the lead as lap 6 is complete.
Cole Fitzpatrick ran it a little wide there in the tri-oval. Logan York barking at him to get down low, but you see all 3 of those guys up top. They're all in the Discord. Looks like Zach Range is a Blind Squirrel Racing or Misfortune Motorsports Alliance. A little bit of squirreliness there on the bottom. They figure it out just as I'm talking about squirrels, but Zach Range going to fall in line. He's in the Discord helping out Cole Fitzpatrick and Logan York, so that's going to be a strong 3 trucks to be watching for this whole race.
Maybe a little bit of a miscue there, but for Austin Green and Ron Morris, I think maybe Ron thought he was going to be clear by the time they got halfway down the backstretch. He never got clear. Green dropped down, tried to bring Morris with him, but could not. And now up on the outside, it's going to be Ron Morris, pushed by Aubrey Thompson, one of our race winners from last season in the Little Guys Series, and one of the championship runner-ups from that 1-2-3 finish for BAR. So good to see Aubrey back in the series tonight, running a new paint on his truck. The black and yellow looks to be almost shades of the Menards truck that we're used to seeing on a Matt Crafton, the number 88 truck in the Craftsman Truck Series. It's almost what it looks like to me up on the middle line right behind Ron Morris, but now Green sees his teammates starting to fade a little bit. Trouble out back. My goodness, what a save for the 760. I have no idea how he got that one back underneath him. He gets it back going. Will he keep the draft? It's going to be awfully close. 3 wide. Here comes Zach Range up on the top side.
Yeah, Zach Range doing a lot better job pinching down. He clears to that bottom side, leaves out Cole Fitzpatrick and Logan York, but you could see he just was running a little bit better of a line than Cole Fitzpatrick through the corner and down the backstretch. He's going to go up, try and help his teammates again. Not a move you see often, going up to the third lane to help, but it's going to really stall them out. But you see Zach Range, like I talked about, tucked down as low as he can there on that middle line, doing a lot better job than Cole Fitzpatrick. Still going to let that line roll on that third line.
Range, one of the most aggressive side drafters in money racing, and he's showing it off here tonight. Look at how close he gets to the door number there of Aubrey Thompson. He's trying everything he can to get that line to move. Green sees him coming, jumps up in front of Ron Morris again, trying to stall that run. A little bit of squirreliness there on the bottom. Oswornoth got loose, got together with Ron Morris, but they get it sorted out. Range pokes the nose out front halfway down the Alabama Gang super stretch, but look how close they are to the wall. They're way up there, and Fitzpatrick may have gotten the wall. They're going to try to both clear down. I don't know if this is going to work. That was really a tight clear. Man, Cole Fitzpatrick, he got a little bit lucky there. Austin Green, Ron Morris, they may have cut him a huge break there off turn number 4.
Well, they got to the front, though. Great pushing by Fitzpatrick. They may have been pretty tight on the door, but that's what you have to do to make it work against whenever these teammates are running together. You know that Ron Morris and Austin are working together. You know that J.R. Miller's happy with just being on the bottom, tucked behind Trevor Osbornoth, so you know that they're going to work together to try and stall out that third line. They did a great job there, getting their side draft and getting both of themselves clear, albeit by the smallest of margins.
Fitzpatrick rockets back to the lead here off turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. He will not quite get clear of his teammate tonight, at least, Zach Range, as they are running together, but unfortunately top line stalls out. Bottom line comes back too, here about halfway down the backstretch and now into 3. Range back to the lead. Oswornoth, he might get clear here of the middle. Let's see if he jumps up. Nope, Range. That's smart move right there. Oh, trouble! Around goes Zach Range. He got turned by the bumper of his teammate Fitzpatrick, and now they're going to go around.
There it is.
Jack Hignight, Dustin Carruthers go around, go for a slide in the tri-oval, and that'll bring out the first caution of the night. And I think that was bound to happen for a little bit. We got away with it for a few times. Not going to get away with it there. Jack Hignight, Dustin Carruthers, unfortunately, get the raw end of that one.
Oh, we almost got away with it. Just that middle pack started to stack up. They saw what was happening down below them. They're all just trying to give space, give everyone room. And just looks like one of the hyper trucks gets into Jack Hignight. No fault there. They're just trying to check up and avoid the wreck.
It starts up front. We'll watch from Zach Range's perspective first here at the front of the field, as he was the first one I saw get out of shape off the bumper. Fitzpatrick, you're going to see this push here off of turn number 4. Watch this bump right here on the right rear quarter panel. Well, not the quarter panel, but the right rear part of that bumper. It shoots Range down the speedway. Look at J.R. Miller. I have no idea how he doesn't wreck bigger than he does. He goes for a slide. You're going to see him slide down towards the inside wall. I think he actually is going to pancake it with the left side. Austin Green got the wall there as well in the 87 as he tail whips the outside wall. And then behind them, the stack up, Jack Hignight gets turned off the bumper of one of the hyper trucks. I believe that might be Danny Barnes. Perhaps in the 7 it is Danny Barnes. Bobby Forbes gets into the outside wall. And Carruthers, you see him slide through the grass. He and Hignight, I think, just go for an innocent slide here. Not really any meaningful damage on either of those trucks. A little bit of rear end damage on Hignight's truck. The Carruthers, for the most part, keeps it clean and is able to miss most of this one. We'll take another look at it here from up above, and you'll see what I mean on this push from Fitzpatrick to Range. It was good in theory, but Fitzpatrick just wasn't quite able to get all the way squared up on the back bumper of his teammate here. Watch how much of a run he's got, and he's all the way over on the right side. He tries to square up, and then as he gets there, he drifts just a little bit too high and shoots his teammate, the 043, down the racetrack. You see J.R. Miller go for the slide, and then watch the stack up behind them with Jack Hignight. He goes to get on the brakes there. You see Green getting the wall, and they're 4 wide here for a moment, and unfortunately they run out of room and go for a slide down through the infield grass. Bobby Forbes pancakes the wall. Man, David Sheets, how did he miss that? There is some contact there between Carruthers and Richard Elliott in the 0-2 as he tried to come to a stop. Nowhere for him to go.
Like a pretty good sizable hit to the right front of Austin Green. I don't know if it's going to be too much damage, but it looked like he hit it pretty hard.
Take one more look at it here as they came off turn number 4. You'll see the stack up that starts behind the initial contacts. The initial contacts already happened. And right there, you see the stack up start. And now there's the hit on the right side of Carruthers right there from Richard Elliott. And they go for a slide through the grass. Pretty considerable front end damage on the 0-2 of Elliott. That's some big time front end damage. And the right side damage appears to be pretty significant to Carruthers as well. So he got it going, but unsure how much damage either of those trucks have. And it puts us under the first caution of the night on lap number 12. Trevor Osborne leads. Mike Davenport's second. Ron Morris is third. Cole Fitzpatrick's fourth. And Thomas Parker is fifth. And, man, I mean, a chaotic start to the race. Almost kind of like the start we had last week. Now, luckily, again, darkness not going to play a factor. But these guys, I don't know what it is the last couple weeks. The intensity has been very, very, very high early in the going of this race.
Yeah, you just get more comfortable running around these guys. They've ran against these guys for a couple seasons now. Only 2 or 3 have been relegated out of this, really. So everyone's getting comfortable racing around each other. So they're going to start making more moves that they're comfortable making around them, making bigger blocks, taking the runs in the third line. It makes for better racing, but it could cause bigger wrecks.
Lucky to get away with one right there. I think that could have been a lot bigger than it was. Luckily, only collects about 5 cars in a meaningful way there. Curious to see what the damage is on Austin Green's machine. Looks like he came to pit road. Actually is down on pit road again here with 1 lap to go until we go back green to try to fix that damage. And we'll reset the field for you as we get ready to go green on lap number 14. It'll be 37 laps to go at Talladega when we get the green flag. Trevor Osborne is your leader with Mike Davenport to his outside in second. It'll be Fitzpatrick that runs third. I thought we were on 1 to go. We are third. We are on 1 to go. I'm not sure where the third place truck is, so Fitzpatrick is fourth. It's Ron Morris here in third. He's Just laying back a little bit here from the leader, as Fitzpatrick is 4th. It'll be Thomas Parker 5th, Aubrey Thompson 6th, with Logan York and David Sheets back on row number 4, and Mark Vondell and Ryan Based on row number 5. So we get ready to go back under the green flag. These guys are all kinds of disorganized here on the backstretch with 1 lap to go till the green flag. Very discombobulated most of the way back through this field. Not sure what the issue seems to be, but they are really laying off each other here at the front. We'll see if we can get some green flag laps and get to a pit stop. We are still in a 2 pit stop race at least. It's actually going to push 3. We're actually going to be still on a 3-stop strategy with 37 to go, with about 15 laps to the tank. So it will only be able to get to about lap 43 on 2 tanks. So that makes that last stop awfully interesting. In fact, it actually makes the rest of the race interesting. You can choose when you want a short pit here. So we'll see what these guys decide to do over the next couple laps as the window starts to get closer to opening. And that would happen at about 7 laps from right now. And here we go. Trevor Osmond, Mike Davenport, in control of the field. See Richard Elliott trying to get caught up there in the tail end behind J.R. Miller. He will do so. And off we go once again for the first restart of the night at Talladega. Osmond into the restart zone. And he gets on the loud pedal. Green flag is back in the air. And away we go up through the gears to turn number 1. Man, the inside did not get going from Ron Morris on back. The outside really didn't get going from Fitzpatrick on back. Drag race to see whose pusher gets to him first in turn number 1.
Yeah, it looks like Ron Morris is going to get to the back bumper first, but he lays off yet again. I think you're seeing a little bit of fuel saving happening. Ron Morris gets to the back bumper there. Mike Davenport up top getting a push from Cole Fitzpatrick. He's going to be mindful of what happened there on that last wreck. He had an offset push to Zach Range, spun Zach Range around, so we'll see what happens going into turn 3.
Off the super stretch and climbing the banking again. It's Davenport now that rockets forward to the race lead. Mike Davenport, one of the PGR drivers, was in last week's race. Was in a good spot at the end of last week's race. We'll see if he can make it a couple spots better here this week. Look at Osborne. He tries to go up and block. Davenport thought about going a lane higher. Still thinking about going a lane higher. Now he will go a lane higher. Unfortunately, no help there for him. Aubrey Thompson up to the outside with him, but unfortunately only 2 trucks. And, man, that opened the floodgates here for Ron Morris Jr. He says, thank you very much. I'll take that, and drives right forward to the lead. So the 76 now leads in turn number 1. He'll jump up in front of Osborne. He tries to go higher. He gets turned to the outside wall. Osborne hard into the wall. The front end blown off the 89, and the caution flag will come out again.
Yeah, just a couple blocks gone wrong, and unfortunate for Trevor Osmond. His day is done. Looks like his truck is expired. He's able to get it rolling, but he's got smoke billowing out of the back. Just unfortunate for sure.
It's a big-time scramble here in turns 1 and 2 as they all tried to find some real estate. I thought they got away with it for a split second here in 1 and 2, but as Morris comes up the hill, he tries to block Osmond. He sees that run coming. Obviously doesn't want to allow Thomas Parker to get clear in front of his teammate. And you're going to see here when Morris comes up, Osmond tries to go a lane higher. And when he does, you see right here, and man, he's really not clear at all. I mean, it's about a quarter trunk length. I mean, the entire hood of the Davenport machine is to the outside of Osborne there, so not sure what he saw. Not sure if perhaps he was maybe getting a push. We'll have to look and see again, but a really tough break for one of the stronger trucks in the field the past few weeks. Trevor Osborne was in contention last week and just got unlucky late in the race. Looks like that's the case again here. We'll go back. I'm really curious now. Doesn't look to me like Cole Fitzpatrick is actively pushing him here. We'll double check it here when they come off turn number 2. This could be a pretty good angle right here. And you see Ron Morris. He'll get up the racetrack right here to block Osborne. And Trevor just turns up the hill. And when he turns up the hill to try to jump out to the third lane, maybe just didn't know they were 3 wide. Just perhaps a secondary lapse, but unfortunate. Osborne to the outside wall. You see the front end blown off of his truck. He is probably going to have to park it. That will be his night, as that was a considerable hit into the outside wall for Trevor Osborne. But again, like the last wreck, I'm kind of thinking we're lucky that this was not bigger than it actually was. This was
absolutely.
I mean, when you see this wreck happen at the front of the field, you think maybe Osborne's going to bounce off the wall, come back down, collect more trucks instead. somehow they stay up in the outside groove. You see it right here. Yeah, he turns up the hill. Fitzpatrick is a foot off his bumper, and Davenport's along for the ride. Again, nothing Mike Davenport did right there except be an innocent bystander. Guides Osbornoff into the outside retaining wall, and I have no idea how they kept it up in the outside groove. You see Osbornoff locks down the brakes, and they all filed to the inside as the fabulous Stamper Hornet comes to rest on the apron under our second caution of the night.
Well, the good news about Mike Davenport's paint scheme is it's all white, and I can see where all the damage is on the truck. Looks like it's all mostly right side damage. Obviously gets turned into the outside wall. Probably going to be repairable. No real front end damage that I'm seeing. So I think he'll be able to get out there and get some more racing in.
We'll have to wait and see as guys are coming off pit road. So now you're still just short of a one-stop strategy, I should say. I said 3 after the last caution. It would be a 2-stop race now, although Window's going to be able to save that much, but I don't know. It'll be awfully close. It'll be really close, actually. It'll be, 32 to go when we go back green. You get about 15 normally to a tank. If you save, you got to save half a lap on each run. I don't know. It's not necessarily impossible here to maybe make this in one stop from here on out, especially if you pit here a second time under this caution flag.
Yeah, I think if you really run a slow pace, keep it towards the back, towards this first half of this run, you could save both of those run. Instead of trying to save half a lap each run, you could save that full 2 laps on this first run. I think if you're way towards the back, if you're Austin Green, if you're the guys coming down pit road now, which they probably listen to the broadcast, checking it out, taking our advice, going down pit road, filling up a little bit with some more fuel, and gonna ride the bottom here, I think.
Would be the smart play as we get ready to go back under green. It'll be 32 laps to go. Brambilla, Westmoreland, Elliott, Clay, Fitzpatrick, Hickory, all coming to pit road that time by to refuel again. I believe a few others might have taken advantage of that as well. So we'll double up one more time as, again, 32 laps to go when we go back under the green flag. A pair of teammates on the front row, David Sheets and Ron Morris, both former podium finishers in this series, both former winners in this series, actually, now that I come to think of it. Thomas Parker and Ryan Baste, another pair of teammates, will roll third and fourth. It'll be Heath Jobe after the really great save earlier, has kind of been helped by these couple of cautions to keep the draft to get back with the field. He'll run fifth with Zach Range to his outside. It'll be Austin Green, Aubrey Thompson on row 4, and Mark Vondell, Dustin Carruthers on row number 5. The only truck, I believe, that is out of the race at this point, he's not even out quite yet officially, is Trevor Osbornoff, although he is multiple laps down on pit road, waiting to perhaps fix some of that damage, although it did look to be night-ending damage for the 89. So that's the only truck off the pace. The only truck actually 1 lap down. Everybody else continues to run here on the lead lap. A note, Doug Camp in the 408 did not make the grid. He is not currently on the racing surface. So 22 on the lead lap, 1 on pit road, and 1 did not make the grid. So here we go. We're going to go back under the green flag on lap 19 of 50. The McCullough Motorsports teammates are on the front row and ready to lead the field back to the green flag with 32 laps to go here in round 3 of the Little Guy Series. Pace truck is down. You see the field starting to catch up a little bit. You see the guys back there. It's mostly, I think it's just the PGR trucks plus Colt Fitzpatrick that took advantage of coming to pit road a second time to get some more fuel and potentially make this a one-stop race. We'll see if it works out for them here on this third run of this race. Here we go. Back into the restart zone one more time. 32 laps to go at Talladega. Green flag is in the air, and we are back underway. Off to turn number 1 they go. It's a great start for the bottom and David Sheets. Ron Morris gets a good start and has his help coming to him. Off to 1 and 2.
Good push there on the bottom. Logan York asked if I am sick. Yes, I am sick. I'm powering through it like Michael Jordan. This is my flu broadcast, so we'll see how it goes. David Sheets going to move up in front of Ron Morris Jr. He's going to have to check up there. Ryan Bass is on the back bumper. Causes a big stack up, as you can see. On the outside line, big crash. Number 7 around.
It's Danny Barnes that's around for Hyper Motorsports in the back of the field. He'll come to rest here on the back straightaway. And the good thing for Danny Barnes, it appears, not much visible damage on the 7 truck for Hyper Motorsports. Looks like he might have just tapped the wall. And yeah, you see the front end of the truck still relatively clean for him. So we'll go back and take a look as they came off turn number 2. You saw just at the tail end of that last camera shot, and we will take a look at what happened here to Danny Barnes. He was back in the field, back around the 18th position. Actually, he was a little bit closer to the front than I thought he was. He's about 6 rows deep here in the field. So off turn 2, does it stack up in front of him? Yes, it does. Big stack up. He gets turned off the bumper of Mike Davenport. And you're going to see him hit the wall right here. That's actually a pretty substantial hit. I thought it was a lot less than that. Now, there was not a lot of damage, but it certainly does not look fatal to me.
No, it was right front, though. Looks like it's separated there towards the nose. That'll take a little bit of time, probably about a minute 30. But, these trucks, they've developed into tanks, really, and a lot easier to fix than before the damage model updates. So we're very thankful for that.
So we'll take another look here. You're going to see the stack up. This is as a result of David Sheets coming up. You see the line start to weave. It checks up. And you can see Baste has to jump out of line as well right there. And look at them stack up. You see Green, Vondell there on the brakes. Danny Barnes is on the brakes. Unfortunately, Davenport just not quite able to get on the brakes in time. He goes into the outside wall. And you see the hit right there for Danny Barnes. Actually, Michael Clay going to get a pretty substantial part of this as well. Big-time front-end damage on the 33. As Davenport came back down the racetrack just a little bit into the path of that gray and white Silverado. We'll have to see what the damage on Davenport is. Remember, he was in the last incident with Trevor Osbernoth as well. So we'll have to wait and see what the damage is on the 55. As we'll take one more look here. We'll actually go on board with Danny Barnes so you can kind of see what I mean. Of this stack up right here off turn number 2. So he's behind Mark Vondell. And watch how much this line stacks up when they come off turn number 2. You're on board with the 7 of Danny Barnes. And you see what I mean right there. As the field stacks up, you heard him get way out of the throttle. In fact, may have dragged some brake there off turn number 2. That's how hard they checked up. And unfortunately, just was not quite able to escape the oncoming line behind him, who, again, the further back a stack up goes, the harder it is to gauge where that stack up is, gauge how fast they're checking up in front of you, and unfortunately there for Danny Barnes. He gets the worst end of that one. He and Michael Clay going to be the worst ends of that one. We'll reset it again now. Definitely a one-stop race. You can split this next run in half and run it out to the end on one more pit stop. Now under this caution, Nash Brambilla has inherited the lead here in the 23. Heath Job is up to second. Austin Green is third. Aubrey Thompson is fourth. And Ryan Baste is fifth. So now, not much strategy involved. Not much short pitting you can do here, and it might differ by 1 or 2 laps. But for the most part, now everybody is pretty much on the same strategy that came down pit road right there.
Yeah, well, Nash Brambilla, the only one to pull strategy. He stayed out. He's just saving a bunch of fuel. Under this caution, he knows he can still make it a one-stop race. He's able to save those 2 laps that you were needed during green flag runs to be able to be saved under caution. So he'll be right at the edge of the window, and he'll probably be taking his PGR boys down around lap 30, 31, I would assume. Or sorry, 35, 36.
That's about what we expect. Now, we do know, if you remember, the PGR team came down pit road on our last caution with coming to 1 to go on the caution flag. As we were about to double up, they came back a second time and topped off on their fuel tanks. So they have an extra lap to most of the field in terms of, well, they had an extra lap in terms of most of the field. So it makes sense to me that Brambilla would stay out with the track position. I'm a little bit surprised his teammates, Brock Westerland, Tyler Vickery, J.R. Miller, didn't follow him on that strategy. But a lot of guys now, you see them coming down pit road this time by. So the strategy still in full effect here with 29 laps to go, to be 28 to go next time by. So we'll update the top 10 for you now that several guys have come to pit road. It's Brambilla Job on row 1. Aubrey Thompson, Ryan Baste on row 2. Dustin Carruthers has worked his way back up to 5th. And Austin Green's to his outside. It'll be Logan York, Zach Range on row number 4. And Thomas Parker and Jack Hignite on row number 5. Good run so far for the 07 after being involved in the first incident earlier on in the night. Slid through the grass and has worked his way back inside the top 10. So getting ready to go back to green. It'll be 28 laps to go. Still some strategy involved, but man, just for some reason the last 2 weeks we had kind of gotten used to these guys knowing the situation. You know, running it to pit stops, making sure they got to their strategy number. Now, the strategy is there. You can tell for sure, and it's still going to play a factor. But to me, they're not really racing with strategy in mind. I'm not sure what's changed in the minds of the drivers. The intensity between last week and tonight is a lot higher than it has been in the past.
And I love seeing it. It's a lot of fun to watch these guys duke it out. Pit strategy is always a lot of fun to call. It's one of our favorite races to call. But I like calling it old-fashioned barn burner, a slugfest, if you will. Unfortunate that Trevor Oswald's not a part of it. It's one of the better trucks that's out there that can throw down for sure, but it's going to be a lot of fun watching these trucks try and make their way to the front or try and save fuel for the pit strat, try and undercut these guys with a little less fuel.
So we'll see here what these guys that came down pit road that time by as we came to one to go are able to do on pit strategy as we get ready to go back under the green flag. How full is Nash Brambilla's his fuel tank here at the front of the field, staying out under this caution? Will it benefit him or will it come back to backfire? We'll have to find out here the next few laps. Pace truck is down, and it will be Brambilla who controls the field here into the tri-oval. 28 laps to go, race 3 of the Dega Pros Little Guys Series, as we are about to get back under the green flag, into the restart zone one more time. And here we go. Green flag is back in the air, and off they go towards turn number 1. Man, a disorganized restart in both lanes. And again, a drag race. Whose help can get there first? The answer, Aubrey Thompson. He's to the back bumper of Brambilla. They will surge to the lead here as they climb the banking.
You see Austin Green drop down to the bottom. Oh, man. Logan York trying to get... Oh, he keeps blinking in and out. Really, really bad, but... We've seen a little bit of server issues. I've seen a lot of people blinking out that I'm not used to seeing blink out.
I noticed it in my league race before this, too. A lot of guys were having some connection issues, and I've had some connection issues. Ever since really the last update, it felt like there's been a little bit more server issues to go around. So we'll see if that gets resolved. Looks like it's resolved for now for Logan York. And to me, no one else blinking. Man, some guys have lost the draft here or appearing to start to lose the draft. Tyler Vickery is that bridge car. He's in no man's land right now, about 0.7 of a second off the back bumper of his teammate J.R. Miller, who's trying to bridge back to get him. You see J.R. drop off the field. He's trying to go get his teammate, but unfortunately, it may backfire on both of them. He's already half a second, make it 0.6 off the back of the Mark Von Dell truck. Danny Barnes, Bobby Forbes have lost the draft as well as Mike Davenport, so down to 16 here in the lead draft for now, off turn number 2.
Yeah, Davenport, too much damage, just getting pulled away from towards the back. Those two Hyper Motorsports trucks didn't get a good start behind some damaged cars. Zach Range going to pull up to the top side with Cole Fitzpatrick, his teammate tonight. He's going to try and go to the front. Look for Logan York to pop out once that happens, but he needs to take the run to get tucked up to Heath Joe before he makes that move. But no movement really up front here. But you see Aubrey Thompson up to the top. He's going to stack with Nash Billa. That's going to probably push Logan York up. Yes, it does, to try and take that third line. Doesn't have any help yet, but it'll be there soon.
Thompson at the bottom, back across green, managing lanes. 26 laps to go. Next time by, we halfway home. Look up in the top side. Here come the Blind Squirrel teammates, along with Zach Range. They're not together, though. They're starting to pull away from each other here off turn number 2, disorganization. And this, I'll tell you, is a problem I've noticed. Not really a problem, but something I've noticed here in the last couple weeks since they updated the truck setups is that these trucks go a lot faster now in the draft. You see Heath Job jump to the outside, but they're going a lot faster in the draft. It's a lot harder to pull off the guy in front of you and get to that truck in front of you, especially when you're the last truck in line. So luckily for Cole Fitzpatrick, he's able to get back to the back bumper of his teammates as Green jumps up. But that's something I've noticed. These guys are going a lot faster, and unfortunately that means the draft is just not quite as strong as it used to be a couple of weeks ago.
You see Brock Westmoreland trying to back up to get his two teammates. They got hooked up back there. That is J.R. Miller and Tyler Vickery to try and get their team all hooked up together, but it's just not working out the way they want it to. But you see a lot of these guys ride the line, biding their time for these pit stops. You know, Mark Fondell runs up front, but when it comes to pit stops, it's one of those guys that just doesn't make mistakes on pit road. He's really improved since I've started racing with him a couple years ago, and it's really nice to see that he's able to keep up with us on pit stops and keep up with the big dogs.
We'll see what he can do here on this upcoming pit run. Look at Austin Green, big move to the outside of Heath Job. He wants to lead, but unfortunately Logan York says, I'm good. I'm going to go to the outside. He brings Brambilla with him. Huge surge to the outside. Range looks 4 wide. He brings his teammate with him. Wow, they're going to split out Logan York here, their teammate. I'm not sure this was coordinated this way for those two teammates. They're still 4 wide. Still 4 wide. Now Fitzpatrick and Green come together. Man, that benefited Zach Range, but no trouble. Now around goes Fitzpatrick, and he brings along with him not Austin Green. Couldn't tell what truck that was. That went into the outside wall. It was Jack Hignite in the 07, so right as the run got good for Hignite, unfortunately, it's going to come to an end. He bounced off the wall a ton there in turns 1 and 2. And this was all a product of this we're going to go back and we're actually going to watch the whole sequence here, because it's not that I don't get the move from Zach Range. I understand the thought process here. But for a couple of reasons, it seemed, number one, it was too early. And number two, the guy leading the line that he was going to be third in line was his teammate tonight, Logan York. So Range decides to take the run, brings along with him Fitzpatrick. They go 4 wide, and they make it through this. Okay, at least for the first moment of it. But then going into turn number 1, I'm just not really sure that this kind of becomes a pinball game between these trucks. You see Range and York, they're going to come together right here almost. Range gets off of him. Brambilla actually gets the outside wall. Fitzpatrick almost gets into York here as he goes into a 4 wide situation. And now watch. He's going to come together with Austin Green. Right there. There's the contact from the 87 and the 24. They get through it okay. Fitzpatrick back up the hill. And Fitzpatrick, wow, rolls down the hill. Apparently did not notice he was still 3 wide, and unfortunately collects the 07 of Hignite, who was completely innocent in that. And Fitzpatrick had just started to roll back down the hill, overcompensated. Man, J.R. Miller, nowhere to go. T-bones the Fitzpatrick machine there on the inside. Big damage to his truck. Logan York trying to stay out of it as well. He's going to get collected here. Man, I'm not sure if Fitzpatrick perhaps got a 2 wide call here or what happened, but he just continued to roll down the hill. He was not clear when he started to come back down the hill, and I mean, you can tell here going into 1. Watch how far the Fitzpatrick machine rolls down the hill when we get to the middle of the corner. He goes up the hill right here. He goes back up to Logan York, and right here you're okay if you wanted to stay up there, but instead, still coming down, still coming down, still coming down, still coming down, and doesn't quite realize it till he's catching the right rear quarter panel of Hignite, who really hammers the outside wall. It's one of the more violent hits we've seen in this series. And blows the front end out of that machine. And Fitzpatrick right here going to get T-boned by an on-rushing J.R. Miller. Man, I'm not sure what Fitzpatrick saw there, but he rolls down the hill, was not clear, and unfortunately collects several really good trucks in this one. So the 4th caution of the night is out here on lap number 29, and several more trucks, unfortunately, going to either have to call it a night or go multiple laps down trying to repair damage. Jack Hignite is one of them, as well as Fitzpatrick and J.R. Miller. Also on pit road right now are Brock Westmoreland, Danny Barnes, and Mike Davenport, and they have been there for a considerable period of time trying to repair some damage on their trucks as well. So 15 are on the racetrack right now, and we'll reset them for you here briefly. Aubrey Thompson leads. Dustin Carruthers is position number 2. Ryan Baste is 3rd. Zach Range is 4th, and Thomas Parker is 5th. It's David Sheets in 6th, Austin Green 7th, Richard Elliott 8th, Heath Job 9th, and Ron Morris in 10th. Then Mark Vondell, Logan York, Nash Brambilla, Tyler Vickery, and Bobby Forbes. Westmoreland has now come off pit road, and he is position number 16. And the other trucks continue to sit on pit road. Mike Davenport, Danny Barnes, J.R. Miller, Cole Fitzpatrick, and Jack Hignite, and Michael Clay is multiple laps down in the 22nd position. And so as we get ready to go green, another wreck that claims several trucks, unfortunately, is going to collect several innocent bystanders there, such as the product of restrictor plate racing. We'll get the one to go signal this time by. And if you look up at the standings, KSR looks awfully good right now. As we get ready to go back under green, they are really flexing some muscle here tonight as they run 2nd, 3rd, and 5th for the trucks that remain on the lead lap. Obviously, their teammate Trevor Osbornoth is out of the race tonight. Well, essentially out of the race. I believe he's still on pit road, but he is pretty much out of the race, sitting on pit road many, many laps down with 21 laps to go. Want to thank everybody for coming out and watching here tonight. Really good audience here for a really late night, Monday night, actually into an early Tuesday morning now. As we are just past midnight, we appreciate everybody coming out this late and watching these guys take to the speedway. It's been a very intense race tonight. Still 20 laps to go. Still a pit stop in play for this field. So we'll see if they decide to run it all the way to the end of the tank or if they decide to undercut. In about 5 laps is when we would reach the window.
Yeah, just a lot of chatter from listening to the radio after that. Sounds like Cole Fitzpatrick blamed Austin for the wreck. Said he body slammed him up in the wall. I didn't see it that way, but now we're just not catching the pace car. I'm telling you, it's something every week with these guys. They do something that we don't see very often. They back all the way out the pace car, pull up like it's a dirt track, like they're going to come out of 3 and 4 and come off the banking like it's on dirt. It's just, these guys are so much fun to watch, and it's I always have a good time watching them each week.
You always see something new in this series, and we've seen something new every single week. Last week it was darkness. Week 1 it was a 1980s style race with 2 cars on the lead lap, and this week we're struggling to catch the pace car. So we'll see what else this race has in store. 20 laps to go. You see Michael Clay catch the back of the field. No front end on that machine. He will file in here behind Heath Job in that 760. And into the restart zone. 20 laps to go. Race 3 of the Little Guys Series. Aubrey Thompson brings it back to the green flag. And off towards turn number 1 we go. And another very separated, disorganized start. First one with help is the top side. It's Carruthers. But the bottom line will surge here in 1 and 2. And it might just allow Bass to get clear of his teammate. We'll see if he can. Not quite. Here comes Carruthers back on the top.
You see PGR towards the back. They're all lined up on the bottom. I would expect for them to try and short pit this. They have trucks that are capable of hitting pit road, getting on and off. As Hickory just keeps his tires unchecked, I think they got a good shot if they take 5 laps in this run and they just come down and pit, save as much fuel as they can.
It's notable they do still have 4 trucks here on the lead lap. Brambilla, Hickory, Davenport, and Westmoreland. J.R. Miller continues to sit on pit road multiple laps down. But Mike Davenport has got the truck cleaned off, and he is keeping pace with the lead draft. So 4 very good, very strong trucks that could all come to pit road and perhaps make this interesting on the race leaders in about 4 laps' time. Zach Range goes to the race lead here in turn number 1 with a big push from David Sheets. They've got Richard Elliott with them. First time we've called the 02's number tonight here in round number 3. And Ron Morris and Logan York come along with them. Looks like York able to get that truck all fixed up in the last 2 incidents. He rolls the outside 5th in line. It's all Zach Range down the back stretch. Tries to clear Carruthers. Not going to happen. Range goes to the middle. He's getting pinballed. Now do they going to be able to spread out and give him room? Somehow, yes. Sheets drops down, leaves Elliott and Morris up on the top side. Unfortunately, it's going to hang them out to dry and allow Dustin Carruthers to drive back on through to the lead. He grabs the lead off turn number 4. Headed back to the tri-oval, it's Richard Elliott. Unfortunately, it's going to get the raw end of this deal. He'll be hung out now. He'll drop back in line. No, he will not. Ron Morris fills the hole. He's going to the back as Logan York comes up to help him. Carruthers leads to the line. 18 laps to go.
Yeah, Logan York has promised Richard Elliott that he's going to help him through a lot of these races after the Little Dog Big Dog Championship. He worked well with him throughout the entire race. Richard Elliott got kind of screwed out of a good finish with John Mollahan, and Logan York has been adamant that he wants to work with Richard Elliott anytime he's around him.
Well, now York goes up the top side with Ron Morris. Unfortunately, just not enough help to be found up there, and it's slowing down the middle line with David Sheets and Zach Range. It allows Aubrey Thompson to get clear of the middle. We'll see if he decides to take it here off turn number 4. He starts to lean, still looking, but stays in line behind Dustin Carruthers and decides to stay in line with his teammates another lap. And it's notable because he's got KSR teammates on either side of him. Dustin Carruthers is in front of him, and out back of him, Bass and Parker. Now they get together. Bass gets in the back of Aubrey Thompson, but somehow they all keep it together. Now David Sheets, he's going to take advantage. He drops to the bottom of the racetrack. He drops down in front of Zach Range. Everybody starting to move down, migrate to the bottom of the racetrack. That means pit stops are imminent. Here as we get ready for our final pit stop of the night, all but 3 are now down along the yellow line. Ron Morris may get clear here going into 3 in front of his teammate David Sheets with the help of Logan York. He will get clear, drops down across Sheets. Morris leads in 3.
You're going to probably see some people coming down 35, coming to 36, if not 36, 37, just to be on the safe side. You see the McCullough Motorsports trucks there out front. They'll dictate the pace here. David Sheets a great pusher, but great pushes on the outside from Richard Elliott and Aubrey Thompson to the back bumper of Logan York. BAR pushing Logan York to the front here.
David Sheets blinked out behind his teammate Ron Morris there for a moment. It gets the bottom disorganized. York drops down. Elliott, just was not quite clear. And it's going to be unfortunate for the BAR teammates who now lack some help up on the outside groove of the racetrack. York got down, could not bring the other two with him. And we'll see if they get any more help. I don't think they will, though. Logan York to the lead of the race down the Alabama gang. Super stretch headed back for 3. And now only Elliott and Thompson remain up on the outside groove. They're going to try to make it work. Just not a lot of room to work with, not a lot of help to be found for them. Off turn number 4. Here is the target lap for pit stops. If they're going to undercut, it's going to start right now. Off turn 4. Does anybody come to pit road? The PGR trucks, I think, thought about it right there. They leaned out of line. No move from anybody. Still just those 2 trucks up on the outside line. 15 laps to go at the line.
Yeah, this is the time that I think you're going to see PGR come. I think it's going to be 36 coming to 37. McCullough Motorsports probably going to do the same thing. I think everyone is probably going to be coming down pit road this time.
Big gap back there on Austin Green off the back bumper of Thomas Parker. That's a gap with those BAR trucks. I don't know if they see it quite yet to try to fill that gap on the bottom of the racetrack. They just haven't backed up enough to it yet. And, oh, man, there's still a big gap there. They're still going to try to make a position, though. If everybody pits right here, it's not going to end well for those 2 trucks up on the outside line. Off turn number 4, Logan York, Ron Morris, David Sheets bring the field onto the front straightaway again. Another opportunity for a short pit. Does anybody lean out? A couple do. It's Team PGR. They're going to pit with 14 laps to go, or coming to 14 laps to go. Looks like they get on pit road clean. Maybe not. Westmoreland touches the grass, and that might just be an unsafe pit entry penalty for the 4 of Brock Westmoreland. So perhaps a mishap here for Team PGR with 14 laps to go. BAR trucks all of a sudden look pretty good. Up on the outside of the racetrack, they have gained some ground here. They might just have a shot at getting clear off too.
Sounds like a couple of trucks are going to be pitting this time by. Heath Job and Austin Green chattering about it. People trying to get ready for these pit stops because they know they saw people try and undercut them behind. People are trying to get down pit road as quick as they can, no matter if they know if they had a problem or not.
Look at how low Richard Elliott's sidetracked, and down below the dash, 2 cars in the bottom lane. Not going to really work out for him, though, as he tries to get to the race lead. Nobody this time by. Past the line again, and the BAR trucks are awfully close, but Richard Elliott drops down. I imagine Aubrey Thompson was just going to tell him to take it there. And now Aubrey Thompson's going to have to find himself a spot in line. He's going to have to go up and around and try to get himself in line. He might have a spot here in front of Ryan Bass. It's going to be awfully close. It'll be a tight clear, but he will have a gap. Not going to take it. He'll continue to go backwards. And now most of the field single file right along the yellow line. And we'll double check really quickly on the PGR entry of Brock Westmoreland. A couple trucks have some problems. Mike Davenport had problems on pit road as well. So the PGR group awfully separated here on that pit stop. That's not going to bode well for their results at the end of this race.
No, it's not going to help. And these guys staying in the line, pushing the pace, trying to put those guys towards the back is really going to jumble it up. Look for maybe pit stops here. Yeah, you see Austin Green pulling down. McCullough Motorsports taking the pit stop this time.
That's a late entry for Ron Morris. He was awfully close on pit speed, but I think he got down. Morris, Sheets, Green, Thompson, Vondell, Forbes, Job on pit road this time. 6 trucks out on the racetrack still. The last 6 to pit will be Richard Elliott, Logan York, Zach Range, Dustin Carruthers, Ryan Bass, and Thomas Parker. So this is a pretty strong group still of trucks that are together. In fact, a really strong group of 6 if they can get on and off pit road in a timely fashion here with 12 laps to go. This is a very, very good group of trucks. Let's see if they come this time by. You got to imagine they're coordinating it. And we'll see if this group decides to hit pit road. Parker laying off a little bit.
Oh, no.
This is going to be...
Looks like we have problems for McCullough Motorsports. Sorry to cut you off. Austin Green got off fine, David Sheets, but Ron Morris Jr. and Mark Vondell problems.
Well, Morris, I thought, was speeding on entry. It might have been the case. He might be serving a penalty. Last group's on pit road, and everybody looks to be okay with Elliott, Range, York, Carruthers, Bass, and Parker. Oh, man, this group is way separated, too. David Sheets
bringing Nash Brambilla back into the fight.
And that's going to bring... Yeah, you're right. Good call. Nash Brambilla is going to be right back in this thing because these 3 are not at all together, and they are really not even close to up to speed. Very dysfunctional pit stop from the McCullough group. And this might allow this group of 6 right here to really control this race. And I don't know about you, Baker, but I see Osborne pulling off with his teammates here off pit road. The 89's back in at 24 laps down to try to help his teammates get to victory lane.
I wonder if he's got a new engine under that hood, if he's got enough to push. But you see these guys also discombobulated getting off pit road. Zach Range and Logan York do a great job getting off. But it looks like KSR a little bit slower of a stop. Maybe they took a little more fuel. David Sheets going to get to the back bumper with Aubrey Thompson and Austin Green. With 2 other trucks, Nash Brambilla and Tyler Vickery, going to be able to catch on to this lead pack here.
You see the KSR group, along with Richard Elliott. They will be bypassed here by Sheets and Thompson. Green was losing a little bit of that draft, and he will have to tag on to the KSR contingent at the back of this group. Range is a sitting duck if I've ever seen one. He and York both. They are way too far out in front as a group of 2, and this pack's going to swallow them whole here in a second as Sheets, Thompson, Elliott, Carruthers, and company try to solve this and try to figure it out. And here they come. Look at the run they've got. I don't know where Elliott's going to go. They're going to have no choice here but to slam on the brakes and try to stop. And luckily they do, but here comes David Sheets up around the outside. 10 to go, and all of a sudden it's going to be about an 11-truck race when it's all said and done.
Yeah, the bottom line's going to lose a lot of momentum. Richard Elliott pulled out of line. He's not to the back bumper at Thompson, though. Not much support on the outside line behind David Sheets. Now he's going to get it. Watch for this bottom side to start to lose a little steam here. But great job by Range and York, just staying tucked to the bottom, not making any moves to try and get out of the way. But all of this checking up that happened with the bottom line and top line is bringing Nash Brambilla and Tyler Vickery to the fight. Watch for them to take the top 3 wide.
They're going to perhaps just tuck in for a moment. You notice the KSR group, I think they're starting to back up a little bit. Carruthers, Osborne based. They're smart enough to realize that that's going to be the only way they can do anything. PGR to the top side. Nash Brambilla the first to move. 9 laps to go, and Austin Green goes with them. Week 1 winner, Austin Green, jumps to the outside line. The problem is Vickery just not close enough to Brambilla to be able to do very much. And Austin Green sees it. He's going to try to drop back down, and Brambilla is straddling, still trying to decide, now drops in line. And he'll bring his teammate Tyler Vickery back with him. So the third line tries once, fizzles out. Not much support on the bottom here. It allows David Sheets to go back to the race lead, but now topside trying again. Here comes Austin Green another time. I'll tell you, I think the group to watch here to go 3 wide to perhaps back out of this and start to work their way up is the KSR group. They've got enough trucks. I think they've got enough energy here to make it happen, but now the third lane's got some energy off 4. Aubrey Thompson to the outside. He'll rocket to the race lead.
Big push on the outside. Great push from Austin. He's going to hang him out. Oh, Zach Range goes up. Not 2 trucks trying to just meet in the middle here.
4 wide
here. Austin Green to the top side. He's going to get a push. We're 4 wide. No help for Thompson. Oh, man. Really tight into 1 as you see. Austin Green going to get left out to dry. Back to 3 wide. Still 4 wide towards the back. Still squirrely. Zach Range. That's going to put Dawson Carruthers to the front. They were just patient there on the bottom. KSR was. And you see Trevor Osborne giving Dustin a good push up to Logan York. Look for Dustin maybe hop up here.
Logan York, the beneficiary of that run to the bottom. He gets the race lead. It's Carruthers that goes to P2, the most dominant driver this series has seen in terms of trips to victory lane. He's looking for another one. Already a 4-time winner in this series, looking for number 5. Can he get the job done tonight? I know he's been antsy trying to get to victory lane, and now he's got a prime opportunity. The problem is the middle lane is back into the fight. Zach Range in the 0-4-3 back to the outside lane. He'll inherit the lead. Through the trial, it'll be 7 laps to go when the leaders hit the line. Elliott is back in this, and don't look now. The pair of PGR teammates is 3rd and 4th in the outside line. Brambilla and Vickery as we head back to turn number 1.
Yeah, great push on the bottom side from Dustin Carruthers, though. He's almost clear. Off by a bumper. Getting real hot. Logan York going to go to the top, support his teammate tonight, Zach Range, and that's going to really let that top side roll if they can get momentum first. But Trevor Osborne on brand new truck, new motor in it. He doesn't care how many laps down he is. He's just going to go out there and support his teammates.
And that is a strong push. That might have been a mistake by Logan York. I know you got to get off the guy's bumper if he's hot, but look what he's done. He's lined up the KSR teammates, all 4 in line on the bottom. Carruthers to the race lead off 4. Now you can start to lane manage because Osborne's essentially going to play pick here for his teammates. He's not on the lead lap. He's not going to play a factor in the finish other than pushing his teammate Carruthers to the line. 6 laps to go as the field bypasses the start-finish line. Topside trying to come back. It's York, Range, and Elliott and company. Carruthers up to the push of Logan York here in turns 1 and 2. They're about to lap a couple more trucks That's the McCullough teammates of Mark Vondell and Ron Morris. So some help on the way for Austin Green and David Sheets as we head down the Alabama Gang Super Stretch.
Huge tandem draft from Logan York. They got some draft off of Mark Vondell. He's going to clear to the bottom. Logan York does. Dustin Carruthers stays up top, getting the push from Zach Range. Now Trevor Osmanoff to the back bumper of Logan York. Look for managing from both sides here. Maybe Trevor Osmanoff's going to try and push himself clear. I don't think he will, though. He's going to keep his teammate to the top side. Watch for Logan York to try and come up and block here.
What a move by Logan York at the end of the backstretch right there. I mean, that was as quick as you can get to the bottom. He saw the gap, and as soon as it opened up, it was like a flick of the wrist to his left, and he was down to the bottom lane in front of Osmanoff. And now a great move because it puts him in the catbird seat to be able to manage lanes. He's got a great pusher behind him, but how much will he get some help here because Osmanoff's teammate runs right to his right elbow up on the outside line. Osmanoff may get clear, but York sees it. That's awfully smart. Logan York's running a great race so far and now leads the field again on the super stretch. 5 laps to go.
Oh, man, look at this top side. 2 PGR, all the Ron Morris, the McCullough Motorsports trucks backed up for a run, and then it got clogged up by PGR. As soon as they did that, Trevor Osmanoff going all the way to the top. He's going to try and get out of the way. They're going to be 4 wide here through 3 and 4. Trevor Osmanoff trying to bail out of the way.
Logan York gets turned in front of the field. York goes sideways. The caution comes out, but everybody saves it except Thomas Parker, who gets the inside wall. What a save by Logan York in the 40 there off turn number 4.
Wow, unbelievable save by him. Just people behind him couldn't check up in time, but, I mean, unbelievable.
Wow. Okay, we're going to have to look at this a few times. I have no clue how Logan York saved this. This was going to be, easily the big one. This was going to take most of the field. And so you saw them coming off turn number 4. You see Osmanoff start to get out of the way. They go 4 wide, and it's just the slightest offset here by Carruthers. You see right there, he pokes the left headlight out, gets into the left rear of York, and now watch this by Logan York. He is all the way sideways. You can see his right side door number from our camera angle there. Brambilla into the outside wall. Goodness, what a save by Logan York. Incredible work to keep that one from going sideways. Now, I think the good thing would have been he probably would not have gotten hit if he had even spun out, but to keep it going straight is just an added benefit for the 40 machine. Now, the unlucky part of this is going to be Thomas Parker for KSR, who gets the raw end of this one, as we'll see him come off turn number 4 here and get the inside wall pretty hard here. I think I saw smoke coming out the back of his truck. And you're going to see him get, some added help from Thompson there. Thompson trying to check up, can't do it quite in time, and this is going to be a pretty rough hit here for Thomas Parker. And right there, careens into the inside wall, gets up off the ground, and unfortunately going to suffer some severe damage from this one in the 51. So he gets the brunt end, and you do see the puff of black smoke out the back. It likely means the engine expires in that incident there for Thomas Parker. So unfortunate for him that his race will most likely come to an end here with just a few laps to go. We'll take one more look at it, and then we'll get an onboard with Logan York before we go back to live action. You see the spin right there by York, and you're going to see Thomas Parker here. Gets out of the way of the wreck, but unfortunately as he drives across Aubrey Thompson, just not much that Thompson could do. Gets in the back of Parker, and this is a pretty tough hit right here to the inside wall. Big hit there. We lose him for a second. And you see the amount of damage on the front end of that 51 machine. Tough break for Thomas Parker in the 51. But we're going to go on board with Logan York. And this is going to be one of the more exciting onboard looks I think you're going to see here, at least in this series. And let's see what he saw at the front window. You're on board with Logan York in the 40.
I can tell you he's going to see the turn 3 and 4, basically. Exit of 4 for sure.
Oh, man. I can't get over how good a save that was. We've seen guys save it in these races before. 45 degrees sideways, a little bit more than that sideways, and get on the apron and save it. Saw Dustin Carruthers do that at one point in this series. We've seen several do it on Thursday nights, but Logan York was literally 90 degrees pointed right at the inside wall and just drove himself out of it there on off turn number 4. Managed to keep it going. Great work by Logan York, and he did lose some track position, but I'm sure he'll take that over wrecking right in front of the entire field. So great work by the 40 of Logan York, and he will slot in 10th on this upcoming restart. So, man, I don't even know what else to say about that. I kind of let the onboard speak for itself. Really incredible stuff by Logan there with 3 laps to go. So overtime number 1 is coming up. 3 attempts at a green-white checkered should we need all 3. And we'll go back to the moment of caution. Should a caution come out on our final attempt? Ryan Baste leads the field, and man, what a look this is for KSR, because he's going to look to his right elbow here, and he's going to see his teammate, Dustin Carruthers. They're going to line up 1-2. It'll be Nash Rambilla that lines up 3rd with Aubrey Thompson to his outside in the 4th position. It'll be Zach Range in 5th, Tyler Vickery in 6th, Richard Elliott 7th, David Sheets in 8th, Austin Green 9th, and we just talked about Logan York. He is in 10th position. Brock Westmoreland runs in 11th. Heath Job in 12th. Bobby Forbes in 13th. Mike Davenport sits on pit road. He is in 14th. And Ron Morris, the last truck on the lead lap, is currently 15th, catching the tail end of the field. Mark Von Dell is 1 lap down. Danny Barnes is 2 laps down, as is Thomas Parker, who sits on pit road with heavy front-end damage. And the rest of the trucks beyond them, J.R. Miller multiple laps down. Cole Fitzpatrick, Jack Hignite, Michael Clay have all called it a night. And Trevor Osbernoth, who waited all of 30 laps to get an entirely new motor put underneath the 89, he is still on the racetrack. And he will try to contend, help his teammates out here any way he can on this green-white checker.
Yeah, I think he's going to pass Michael Clay. He's disconnected from the race, so he'll gain a spot for the points. That'll always help out. And possibly Jack Hignite, we get another green-white checker, but I don't think we're going to.
So Baste and Carruthers in a really great spot, and it's notable because it's 2 guys in Baste and Carruthers that have not had the luck that we're used to seeing them have in these races. Carruthers, obviously the winningest driver in this series with 4. Ryan Baste, not yet gone to victory lane, but has finished on the podium before, has raced in the championship race before, but has had a really bad string of bad luck in this series. Carruthers has had a bad string of luck in this season, but Baste, his bad string of luck goes back to a season or 2 ago at this point. Both of these guys need good runs. A great opportunity for both to get the job done tonight here with 2 laps to go. We'll see what the KSR teammates can get done on this restart. Overtime number 1 coming up from the Talladega Superspeedway. Here we go. Pace truck is down. It's the pair of teammates on the front row, Ryan Baste and Dustin Carruthers. Will either one of them get the job done? How about the PGR boys running 3rd and 6th? Will they get the job done, or will it be someone else in the field? Here we go. Green-white checkered attempt number 1, 2 laps to go. If the leader gets the white flag, this race is official. Green flag is in the air, and off goes Ryan Baste. Carruthers spun the tires up in the outside groove of the racetrack. He does not get a good start, and his teammate's a sitting duck. He's going to go up to get him. Off into turn 1. Baste goes to get his teammate. That's going to open up the car.
Yeah, I think that's a mistake, though. I don't think, well, it's working out for him now. It's stacked up the top lane. They're able to keep the push going. Vickery gets shuffled out. He's going to get pushed by Logan York pretty hard. And then you're going to see David Sheets try and clear up, but he's not going to get it. But he was able to stack up that line, and the bottom really bailed out. You're going to be 3 wide coming into turn 3. Coming to the white flag here. Ryan Baste drops to the bottom. Dustin Carruthers leading there. Aubrey Thompson to the top.
You're going to see Baste jump up here to get his teammate. On cue
no!
trouble. Around goes Thompson. David Sheets up and over. Tyler Vickery into the outside wall. They're still wrecking. Danny Barnhart in the outside wall. J.R. Miller is around, and a couple other trucks. And the big one strikes with 2 laps to go. And we'll need another attempt at overtime. And, man, there were some hard hits in this one. Aubrey Thompson's the first truck I saw get around. David Sheets as well. We'll get back there and see what happened to those 2. I mean, this was as brutal gets. And let's see what happened to him. You saw Thompson. This was a really well-timed move. I mean, he's a very seasoned guy on these kinds of tracks. He knows exactly when the run's coming. He sees it, jumps out there, and Vickery, I thought, was square here. Let's see if perhaps he gets a little bit off center. Maybe a little. It's not a ton. Actually, it's going to start from behind Thompson. Logan York gets into the back of Tyler Vickery, turns him sideways, and man, a huge hit for David Sheets. I mean, that is a monster hit into the outside wall. Logan York gets involved. Thompson gets involved. There you see Davenport. He's going to collect Danny Barnes. This is another hard hit right here for Barnes. He's going to really clobber the outside wall. Man, big hit for the 7. The PGR teammates actually come together as well. Davenport and J.R. Miller. They're on the apron of the racetrack. Man, there were some really big hits in this one. David Sheets. I mean, that's one of the bigger hits I've seen in a long time. Watch this. See Hickory right there. They get stacked up, and unfortunately it gets the 124 offset with the 40. And watch this for David Sheets. Oh, man. Into the outside wall. Then York gets him up in the air. Comes back down on all fours. You're going to see Barnes right here at the bottom of your screen. Watch the 7 coming right to left. Oh, man. Danny Barnes hits really hard there. Goodness. Brutal wreck. Strikes with 2 laps to go. We'll take one more look at it. As David Sheets goes hard into the outside wall. You see the stack up right there. Again, nothing anybody really did wrong. It's just you're pushing so hard with 2 laps to go. It's obviously going to be a little bit less discretion when you start to try to center up with a guy in front of you. You're really just trying to push your line forward. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite work out there for Hickory and York. Sheets gets the outside wall hard. You're going to see Barnes go off screen there to the left, and he gets the outside wall a ton as well. One more look at it. We'll go on board with Danny Barnes. I mean, you're going to get a really good idea of what it's like to go for a wild ride in a truck here in turn number 3. Up and over. You hear the engine expire. And that's all she wrote for David Sheets in the 1. That wreck is going to end several nights. It's going to end the night of David Sheets. It's going to end the night of Danny Barnes. And that might be the only 2 trucks here that suffered race-ending damage. Logan York's on pit road, Aubrey Thompson's on pit road, and Tyler Hickory is on pit road, but I don't think those 3 are going to be down and out. So as we round the turns 3 and 4, notably here, the leaders are on the flat. Ryan Bass, Nash Brambilla, Dustin Carruthers, Richard Elliott, Austin Green are all down on the flat part of the apron, saving some gas as we get closer to that window here with 2 laps to go as we stretch into overtime. Fuel perhaps becoming a question, at least for these top 5 trucks. So we get ready to go back under green for the second of 3 overtime attempts. And the lineup will not change a ton here at the front. It's still Ryan Bass leading. Nash Brambilla will get to P2. It'll be Carruthers P3 with Richard Elliott 4th and Austin Green in 5th. Heath Job is 6th. Brock Westmoreland is 7th. Bobby Forbes 8th. Mike Davenport in 9th, and Ron Morris is 10th. Rest of the lead lap trucks: Zach Range in 11th. Mark Vondell in 12th. Aubrey Thompson in 13th. Tyler Hickory in 14th. And Logan York, I believe, is still on the lead lap. He is still on the lead lap in 15th position. So 15 on the lead lap. And 15 relatively undamaged. That's actually a really great break for Ron Morris and Mark Mondell, who we saw go a lap down. Those 2 cautions have allowed both to get back on the lead lap. So great breaks for those 2. They're going to be in this one, running 11th and 12th. They're going to at least have a look at it here as they're both back on the lead lap. So good news for them as we get ready to go green for overtime number 2. Interesting restart coming up. You got some teammates all around this racetrack. Bass Carruthers going to line up 1 and 3. You got Davenport and Westmoreland 7 and 9. The hyper teammates Job and I'm trying to see. I think it's Bobby Forbes. It's the truck behind him. It is the 5. So Job and Forbes will line up 6 and 8. So you've got teammates all over the racetrack here as we get ready to go back under green. And obviously you have Morris and Vondell. They've still got Austin Green up here as well. Tyler Hickory still runs a few spots behind his teammates. So a story of teammates once again here on a Monday night. And as we get ready to go, my eyes are going to be on how good a restart does KSR get right here. I imagine if Bass gets a good enough jump, he's going to be lane managing here for the remainder of this run. In fact, they may try to get one of them in each lane and make the rest of the field make a move around them here on this last restart.
Yeah, looking for the big move from Logan York probably towards the back half. You're going to see Zach Range as well probably try and get to that top side pretty quickly. A lot of very aggressive trucks towards the back side of this pack that's really going to try and make these big moves.
Overtime attempt number 2 is about to get underway here in the Little Guys series. The top 5 are awfully close on gas. They'd like for this one to get done right here and right now on this second attempt. Field tightens up here behind the leader, Ryan Bass. They now wait on his start here as the control truck. Overtime attempt number 2. It's round 3 of the Little Guys series. Who's going to get the job done? Green flag is back in the air, and off towards turn number 1 we go. Ryan Bass gets a pretty good start, but his teammate really doesn't. The outside goes a lot better in terms of being in line. It's going to allow Brambilla to maybe draw even with the KSR boys here in 1 and 2.
Richard Elliott giving a great push, but that bottom side still surging. Justin Carruthers off the back bumper of Ryan Bass. Going to get to him now. Outside going to surge with Richard Elliott. Big push to the outside. Nash Brambilla, he's looking for the lead down the backstretch, heading into 3.
It's Bass on the bottom side with a teammate in behind him in Carruthers. Green is third in line. Top side, it's Brambilla, Elliott, and the 2 hyper boys, Job and Bobby Forbes. Off into turn number 3. Who's going to make the first move? It is Ron Morris in the 76. He brings Tyler Vickery along with him. Vickery drops back in line. Morris hung out to drop on the outside line. Still 2 by 2 as they head towards the trial for the most part. Bass and Brambilla continue to duel. Down to the stripe one more time as they pass by the flag stand. White flag, 1 lap to go at Talladega.
Here we go, white flag. You saw Zach Range try and step out with Vickery. Couldn't get it. He steps out again. Vickery wants to go. He wants to go to the outside. Hyper Motorsports, I would look for them to maybe make the move as well. That's really going to give the bottom side. Oh, Ryan Bass goes up. He blocks Nash Brambilla. Oh, man, the top side really stacked up, but really controlled by KSR. Dustin Carruthers on the bottom and Ryan Bass on the top.
The move's going to have to come from somewhere else, and it comes from Richard Elliott. He takes heat, jump to the top side. They're going to even out. Does Carruthers go and get his teammate? He does not, and now it allows Austin Green back into the fray. At the front, into trouble. Nash Brambilla goes around, and now it's a multi-car duel here at the front. Who's going to get the job done? Carruthers bottom side. He's out of gas, perhaps. He's to the bottom of the racetrack. He sputters in the tri-oval. A duel at the line. Side by side to the restart zone at the line.
Looks like Brock
Westmoreland wins it at Talladega.
Wow, what a race.
Carruthers sputters and runs out of gas with 1,000 feet to go. Heartbreak again for the driver of the 10. But another PGR win. It's back-to-back wins for the Team PGR drivers. Brock Westmoreland, he might call that one vengeance from last season for missing out on that championship race, as he finishes in position number 1 tonight. What a finish. I mean, it had about all you could ask for there in about the last quarter of a lap. A last lap wreck, a truck runs out of fuel, and a side-by-side photo finish. Incredible stuff. And I believe we're going to have a Team PGR burnout here on the front stretch here in just a moment for the 2nd week in a row.
Great job by Austin Green on the last lap, too, making a lot of great moves there. It's unfortunate Carruthers ran out of fuel. He's looking to push him all the way, but another win for PGR in the books.
They do come and burn it down. See J.R. Miller, he nursed that truck around to do some burnouts with his teammate here. Great effort for those guys tonight, and PGR, another representative in that championship race. Brock Westmoreland was waiting for his moment to get his get back for last season, and he does it tonight in style here at Talladega. We'll let him burn it down for a moment. We'll give you a replay of all that happened on the last lap because it was hard for us to keep up with it. So we'll give you an idea of what all happened on that last quarter of a lap here at Talladega. These guys continue to burn it down here on the front stretch. A really hearty celebration, and they have earned it here tonight. And, man, you know Brock's happy about this one. He's still burning it down. He might run the engine out of this truck by the time all is said and done on the front stretch. After that little bit of donuts, we'll go back. We'll take a full look at what happened on this last lap because there's a lot that went down as we went off into turn number 3 for the final time. Contact here, I think, between Richard Elliott and Ryan Bass is going to throw that line off. And as soon as it gets thrown off, I believe Nash Brambilla is the first one I saw get out of line here. Oh, it's netcode. Heath Job and Nash Brambilla come together there in turns 3 and 4. Not sure if it was netcode or contact, but it was awfully close. Brambilla goes sideways. He collects Bobby Forbes and Heath Job. Bobby Forbes, he hits hard. Richard Elliott, Ron Morris, Mark Von Dell all get involved. And look at the guys piled to the bottom as they came off turn number 4. Man, some big hits in this one. J.R. Miller's in it. Logan York is in it. And then up here at the front's where it got interesting. Carruthers runs out of gas.
And Ryan Bass.
I think Ryan Bass, I think you called it. I was too busy watching the finish. I think Bass sputters here as well. Austin Green, I think he wins the race. 2 tires under the yellow line. He didn't go all 4 below.
Yeah, it looks like he's forced below there.
Looks like Austin Green threw a block. Yeah,
well.
it looked like a bit of a late block. And they start to Doorbank here. There you see Based. He sputters as well. Boy, Aubrey Thompson's way under the yellow line, too. Back further there for third. We'll have to go back and see who got that one as well. And here is the margin of victory at the line. Incredible for Brock Westmoreland. A great race to the end. And Westmoreland gets the job done. We'll go through your finishing results here and then get to your post-race show for some post-race interviews here from Talladega. Brock Westmoreland wins tonight's race by 1/100th of a second over Austin Green in the 87. He finishes second. Another great run for him tonight. Mike Davenport completes the podium. Great third-place effort for him. An up-and-down night ends in a podium finish. It's Aubrey Thompson that finishes fourth tonight with Ryan Based in fifth. Zach Range finishes in sixth. Tyler Vickery in seventh. Dustin Carruthers so close, but yet so far again in this series. He finishes eighth. Mark Vondell finishes in ninth. And Heath Joe rounds out the top 10.
Richard Elliott and Ashburn Billa both had great. Heath Job, Richard Elliott, and Ashburn Billa. All 3 trucks had great runs just to end under that calamity there in turn 4. It's just how it goes. Logan York in 13th. Bobby Forbes 14th. Ron Morris Jr. in 15th. David Sheets in 16th. Danny Barnes 17th. Thomas Parker in 18th. J.R. Miller in 19th. Trevor Osnoff 20th. Cole Fitzpatrick in 21st. Jack Hignite in 22nd. And Michael Clay rounding out your 23 truck field.
Incredible stuff here from Talladega in the last lap. We're going to go get your top 3 for interviews. Stick right here. We'll be right back for the post-race show.
Yep.
Back live from Talladega as we get started with the post-race show. The first post-race interview of the night, the man for Team PGR who finishes third here tonight. It's Mike Davenport in the 55. Mike, it's the boys in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Well, what a crazy, chaotic finish to this race. About everything that could have happened in the last quarter of a lap happened in the last quarter of a lap. We saw the drag race for the lead. Did not quite catch the drag race for third. You had your own dogfight there at the end with Aubrey Thompson. Take us through that last couple laps and how you got here to a podium finish.
Yeah, the last couple of laps was definitely crazy. I mean, we had that short run, obviously, with the green-white checkered, and it's time to go, and everybody knows it. And you could kind of tell, not just at the front, but towards the back. I felt like was having a good run there at the beginning, and got in a little melee there at the front and pushed into the wall, and even fell behind there for a little while, and got enough time to get the truck fixed up and get it all the way done there for the end and try and make a run. And then saw those guys, they're battling for the lead, and talking to my teammate Brock there, congrats to him on the win. Just saw those guys getting after it, and I kind of felt like that those guys on the top were maybe going to run out of room, and they did, and they kind of got together, and the only thing I could do was kind of go low and avoid it the best I could, and barely got through and ended up with a podium with it, which I will definitely take.
Well, it's a first and third place finish after the 1-2-3 sweep for Team PGR last week. We saw a Team PGR 1-2-3 sweep in the last race of the regular season last season as well. I mean, you guys have come onto the scene in this series and really taken it by storm. What goes into that as a team? Getting these good finishes, running up front. What's gone into that for you guys to come in and dominate like you have?
Well, I feel like when we come into a series like this, we feel like as a team, some of us have been racing together for a while, and some of us are new. Still getting to know each other. The chemistry doesn't just come overnight. It doesn't come in a month. Maybe it takes time to do that. But I think that we're getting better with our communication and knowing what each other's going to do and whatnot, and realizing that we have to put ourselves into a position to take advantage of situations like we had at the end of this race here. If a couple guys spin out or something like that happens, or if you're not in the front, you're not going to have a chance to win or even place on the podium. So we just want to try and get to the front and put ourselves in a position to do something with whatever we get.
Well, you do that tonight. You guys finish first and third. You come home third here on the podium. A great run for you and the PGR team. So before we let you go and celebrate with Brock and the rest of you guys, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, I definitely want to thank my PGR teammates. I want to thank the broadcast. You guys do a great job. I want to thank my wife for sitting there and watching all these broadcasts and, being a big fan, and not just myself, but a lot of racers that are out there as well. I got a lot of friends and family that watch this, and for better or worse, they're always pulling for me, or, they know some of these guys are too. So it's just cool to be a part of this and have a good time.
Well, certainly a good time for you guys tonight. You come home third. Congratulations on a fantastic run. Go enjoy it and go celebrate, and we will see you here next week.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mike Davenport in the 55. He finishes in the third position tonight. This is the man that finished in the second position here. Another great finish for him tonight in the second position. It's Austin Green, and Matthew Baker stands by.
Hey, Austin, it's Matt and Dawson up at the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, what's up, fellas?
Well, a great run for you from the back to the front, to the back to the front, all night. Seemed to be shuffling back and forth a lot. Through the pit stops, your teammates kind of got off cue, but lucky for you guys, the other strategy also was off cue. Brought you guys back into the fight. Talk to me through that last couple of green-white checkers and what more you could have done to the line to get the first place.
Yeah, I mean, overall, the race I thought was pretty good. It's pretty fun. We had a couple of incidents in different spots, and then I know you noted the teammate thing at the end, but through the last couple of green-white checkers, initially the plan was just to try to help David, push him back because he was up there, but then after he got caught up in the wreck, for that last one, I got trapped on the bottom, and I was just going to, sit there and try to help those two. I mean, pushing on the straights and then backing off in the corner, and I thought that was how we were going to finish, but then once base jumped up, whatever, and I mean, I started pushing for all I was worth because I knew that'd be my best chance at maybe getting a podium if I could just keep dusting, and just going to push him the rest of the way, and then off of 4, all of a sudden he started sputtering, and I was confused, so I just barely lifted real quick because I thought maybe I got him loose, and I didn't want to, because I wasn't trying to spin him or whatever, so I bailed out of the throttle, and then all of a sudden he ducked below the yellow. I was like, oh, he must have had an issue. And then when I got too busy focusing on that, and I let myself get caught in the middle. And then when Brock got to my inside, I tried to go down to side draft, but I think maybe I just did it too early. He made a good move on that. I was initially, once I saw base fade, I was going to make the move up top in the tribal, but then all the chaos happened. And coming to the line there, tried to do the same thing with Logan, a little bit less. I was trying to side draft, and then once I felt like I was starting to maybe just drag back a little bit. I tried to lay it on his door a little bit tighter, but it was a fun race. That was a fun finish.
Fun finish for sure. 3 weeks, 3 different types of finishes that we've seen, and another barn burner to the end. Tomorrow, we're going to have our inaugural PGR Esports YouTube broadcast. You and Dawson will be putting it on. Really excited for that with Rob Morris Racing. But for tonight, anyone you'd like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, first of all, got to thank the teammates, McCullough Motorsports, David, Ron, Mark, for all running tonight. Got to thank John for putting it on. You guys for doing the broadcast. Do a heck of a job. Dawson, looking forward to tomorrow. And then, let's see. I think that was about it. We got the college race tomorrow. Excited for that. And yeah, the PGR thing. Make sure you all come check that out. Excited for that one.
Awesome. Well, thank you for talking to us, Austin. It's your second place finisher.
Austin Green, the second place finisher here tonight. And that leads us to the man of the hour, the man in victory lane tonight, and that is the Brock Westmoreland machine for Team PGR. Brock, it's the boys in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, man, I got you.
Well, we saw the celebration there on the front stretch, celebrating with your teammates. This is a huge moment for you and that team. You guys win another one. You get to victory lane tonight. Take us through that last sequence and how you ended up in victory lane.
Yeah, man, I went back in for fuel there. Few cautions beforehand just so I could just flat out push, and I don't know, man, I just made all the right moves, and they ran out in front of me there, and I had to get under Austin coming through the tri-oval, and I still haven't been able to go back and watch it to see if I did go below the yellow or not, but I felt like he kind of maybe forced it just a little, but we kept it clean, me and him, so I don't feel like there's any hard feelings there. But I tried to get back up on the track as well. But man, it's just a hell of a race. I was up and down through the field all race long. Had a pit road miscue, and that one caution saved me there. Hell of a damn race.
Well, the story of the night for a lot of guys was up, down, up, down. You know, I hate to bring it up, but we remember last season in race number 5, Tyler Vickery, who ironically is now your teammate, edges you at the line for the last spot in the championship race. And I said when you crossed the line that this felt like you kind of got, not vengeance, but it felt like you got your kit back tonight and you got in victory lane. You're definitively locked into the championship now. You know, how does that feel coming into this season now, being able to run out the rest of the season knowing you're going to race the championship hot?
Oh yeah, man, it's great. Yeah, I mean, I was real bummed last season when that happened. I think that was week 5, and in week 4, I think I got put into the wall coming to the line to take me out of it, and it was just yeah, it's awesome to be locked in, and got a few more weeks here to try to go get some more cash.
Well, certainly would be fun to watch as you work your way towards that championship race along with your PGR teammates. Before we let you go and celebrate this victory, is there anybody you'd like to thank or shout out?
Oh yeah, man, just like to thank John Ward for putting this stuff on, and thank you guys up in the booth for doing a hell of a broadcast, and thank my teammates for working with me through the race there. Yeah, man, good win. I appreciate it, guys.
Well, we appreciate you talking to us. Congratulations on a fantastic run tonight and a trip to victory lane, and we'll see you in the championship in a few weeks, but we'll see you here back next week for race number 4.
Yeah, man.
Brock Westermerlin, the winner tonight for Team PGR. Gotta imagine that Michael Triscaro is a pretty happy man right now, the first and third place finish. Well, I guess we will go ahead and announce it since Austin decided to do it before I could get a chance to. But you will want to come out tomorrow night for the season opener of Ron Morse Racing's Tuesday Night Thunder, because, as you heard Austin say a moment ago, with himself and myself, it'll be the inaugural broadcast for PGR Esports Network tomorrow night. That's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. I love Tuesday Night Thunder. It's a lot of fun for those guys to race, a lot of fun for us to watch. It's going to be a great season of Tuesday Night Thunder, but more importantly, a huge, huge, huge moment for PGR Esports tomorrow night. So come out and check out that one. Tomorrow night, Thursday night, we're back to PGR Esports Thursday Night Series. I believe we're in the Gen 6 cars this week. Don't quote me on that. But I believe we're back in the Gen 6 cars for the... Are we in the Elite 8 or the Final 4? I think we're in the Final 4 of March Madness this week.
Final 4, yep.
So come out and check that one out. That's been a great event. It's been a lot of fun to call and a lot of fun to watch. So come check that one out with myself and Austin as well. We'll be back for this series on Monday night next week. Late Monday night next week as we prepare for race number 4. Wow, round and race at the same time. Race number 4 of this series as we get ready to continue the road to the championship. As now 3 drivers are locked in. Austin Green, Brock Westmerland, and last week's winner J.R. Miller, 2 of the PGR trucks, are locked into the championship race at the end of the season. Baker, great stuff tonight. I mean, you called it a barn burner. I think that's the appropriate word to use. Chaos up and down the race, and it ends with, again, another finish that we just haven't seen before in this series.
Yeah, it's just 3 races, 3 separate strategies, 3 crazy races that we've seen. I'm looking forward to next week and definitely looking forward to tomorrow racing in the Ron Morse Racing season opener.
Well, we'll see you on track tomorrow night in the Xfinity cars as we get that series going and start a new era for those of us at PGR Esports. So that'll be a lot of fun. Come check it out tomorrow night and watch as Tuesday Night Thunder gets back underway. Brock Westmerlin wins tonight in Talladega. He will race for a championship in the Little Guys Series as he goes to victory lane here at Talladega. My name's Dawson Wise. For my partner Matthew Baker, you've been watching